Hello everyone. Thought I would do a newer video on replacing the coil. I got a video from I think 2021 or 2020 of replacing the coil in my 2009 Ford Ranger 2.3 Duratec 16 valve engine. It's a different engine than what Ford put in. They had a 2.5 for a while, and then before that it was a 2.3, a completely different engine. But anyway, this was giving me trouble months ago, mainly because there is a leak in the exhaust and the first pipe down from the exhaust manifold. So the number one oxygen sensor gets a reading different than the number two oxygen sensor. So I get a check engine light. She probably runs a little bit lean. And I take a trip down to southern Minnesota back in June, I believe it was, to sell something. It was running like crap. And then I pull over and I have to push this number 3 spark plug wire down on the spark plug itself, because it was sitting on top of it, but it was probably, that far up from the spark plug. And I thought that fixed it for a while, and then a couple weeks ago she starts running bad again. And then that's odd. And then I replaced just the number 3 spark plug wire. And then she's running good again. And so what I just did now, I put yet another coil on it. I think I got this one from O'Reilly's. I probably should get it from Napa instead next time. And this is the coil I just took off. When I pulled the spark plug wires up, this wire wouldn't go down as far. Well, you see why. Look at all that gunk inside of there. Let me turn down this little flashlight. Turn it down to a lower setting. See all there's that green gunk in there. Well, there's no gunk in that one, no gunk in that one, no gunk in that one. So the spark plug port for number 1 had all this green gunk in there. So that's why it was running like crap. That's odd. I'm a little bit puzzled now, because I went to O'Reilly's today and they let me borrow the OBD2 scanner. It says misfires cylinder number 3, and this is cylinder number 1. The coil this coil is positioned the same way it was. They oriented, it was number 1. All right, well, I just started the truck up and ran it 5 minutes ago, and the rough idle is gone. I hope I don't have any more problems. I did notice earlier today when I changed the spark plug wires that there was a little bit of oil around the base of the number 4 spark plug. The spark plugs in this engine they sit way down in there. They are buried. I remember back in the 90s, I owned some early 80s Toyota Corollas that had the Hemi 1.8 liter engine. I think it was a 1.8 or 1.6. And those engines had a spark plug that was like seemed like it was a mile down below the top of the valve cover. And because I remember one of those, the aluminum valve cover had warped, and I had trouble getting the spark plug socket out of the engine on one of them. But anyway, I am rambling off topic here, but I'm sorry. I know this video is not going to get 100,000 views, but there's a problem right there. All that stuff. You know, but even with that green gunk in there, you know, there's still a chance that just number 3 coil was bad. You know, if you want to take a trip across the country, you know, if your Ranger has a lot of miles on it, wouldn't be a bad idea to bring with you an extra coil, spark plug wires. The spark plugs in this truck were replaced, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago. But anyway, well, it'll be nice driving to work tomorrow and not having to worry about the thing being low on power. You know, when a 4-cylinder engine has one cylinder that's not firing, you are not down merely by 25%, because that cylinder that is not firing still creates compression. So it takes energy for the other 3 cylinders to keep the engine rotating, to move that non-operating cylinder up and down. Of course, unless, you know, it's got a blown head gasket or a leaky valve. But anyway, well, that was today's adventure. It will be nice driving it home. Maybe if I'm lucky, the check engine light will go off. I did back in July, I did buy a new exhaust pipe. That is that's the first exhaust pipe that comes off of the engine. Cost me, I think, can't remember, $600 or $700. And that's the number 2 oxygen sensor I got taped to it. So I don't know, I gotta buy the number 1 oxygen sensor. I gotta buy the donuts to attach it to the manifold. I'm gonna see if I can come up with the money to buy the other 2 or 3 exhaust pipes, including the muffler, and just put an all new exhaust on the truck. But alright, thanks for watching. See ya, bye.